Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to a brand new day. Hope that you're doing okay. Now, I know we're all adjusting now to life after the coronavirus has taken over the whole world. We are concerned where there's anxiety and there's fear, but we're trying very hard to put articles out there for you, stories that will help to inspire you. And if you are an extrovert in this time of the coronavirus, COVID-19, you are definitely struggling with this time because extroverts, of course, are people who like to get out into the world. They like to meet people. They're energized by crowds. And that's just not the world that we're living in at the moment. So I want to talk to you about some mindset strategies, some reset that you can do if you are a person who likes to be outside, who really enjoys the energy of other people, and maybe readjust for at least for the short term. Now, Jude Walsh is one of our fabulous bloggers, and she wrote this article which I was inspired by, and I wanted to talk to you because she is an extrovert, and she very openly admits that she loves to get out into crowds and eavesdrop. As a writer, she listens to conversations, and she just loves being around people in coffee shops, in stores, on the street. And I understand that. I'm probably in between somewhere. I'm an introvert in many ways, but I do like to be out in the world. I love to take train journeys. I like to go, to different towns and cities and explore. So I'm very much like Jude in that respect. I'm as a writer, I'm energized by others, but we're just not going to be able to do that for a while. So we need to change our mindset. And Jude has actually got 3 ways that you can shift your mindset, really practical things that she's done because she, as a writer, she's really craving getting that creative stimulation. But she's got some ways that might work for you too. Now, the first thing, we're all inside, we're self-isolating, we're self-distancing when we go out, or social distancing when we go out. We're doing our best to stay away from people. And that's just a natural response to the fact that this virus is very contagious and we just don't know. We just don't know how it's transmitted properly. We don't know. We're just in an uncertain world. So by staying in, there's a very positive mindset that you can shift here. And instead of thinking of it as I'm having to stay in, I'm actually having to put myself in a position I'm not that happy with. Just look at it that you're helping. See the love in this situation. By staying in, you are helping others. And now, this has been repeated over and over, and I don't need to preach it. I'm just honestly just trying in my own mind to kind of understand what I can see in this self-isolation that is positive, and see the love. If you see the people in Italy singing from the balconies, every night they sing and it's just an amazingly emotional thing to watch, given how hard Italy has been hit. But they sing from their balconies. If you think about the air being clearer, pollution has dramatically dropped in certain places. And I was out on the balcony today and I heard birds singing. And maybe it's just my heightened awareness to the fact that I'm hearing, but also it's just that nature is kind of reclaiming itself in a way. And it is spring in this part of the world right now. So nature is coming into blossom, and it's just an act of love to see the stillness that you're creating by being in. Not in your cars, not driving around, not walking long distances, going out for a short walk, but it's just that gift of love that you're giving. And people are doing all kinds of amazing things from their home, volunteering, making masks, just talking to people and friends, family, and that is an act of love. So if we look at this period of staying away from crowds and being more isolated and alone, then we might see that this is a time to surrender to this situation and to see the love that you are giving by making the decision to stay inside. So it lifts my mood, and Jude says it lifts her mood, and it just stimulates that creative energy that it's not necessarily to sort of pursue your passion and learn a new language or, sort of read the new book or whatever. It's about just seeing that this is an act of selfless love, to be alone and take care of yourself, take care of your health. Share the silence or savor the silence is the second thing that Jude talks about. And I mentioned this earlier with the birds. I mean, they were probably always there, and I just was too occupied by other sounds that I was making, and the cars going by, trucks, horns, just the sound of people. And now that that's slowed down a little bit, you can hear the sounds of nature. And, you know, now that she, as Jude says, now that I listen, sound is not silence. You know, sound, that listening to silence is not the absence of sound. It is hearing at a deeper level. And the spring, of course, reminds me of this so beautifully, because there's so much going on in the trees and the plants and the animals, and there's, you know, just that nature is making all this change and growth, and it's silent and it's powerful. I think that's really, really cool. So you can be aware of the houses, noises in your house also. I just have to stop for a second. I can hear like little sounds of the heater going, and I can hear outside, I can hear the bells that chime here every half an hour. I can hear just, she says in Jude's article, she talks about the dogs. She can hear them shuffling and she can hear that, you know, that she knows that they're dreaming or they're asleep. And it's just that silence, which brings out such a heightened awareness. It's really powerful. And again, to say to yourself, I'm not alone. I'm safe. I'm warm. I'm going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. The other thing that she mentions, which I think is probably the most powerful in this article, I encourage you to read it. It's a really good article for these 3 things you can do. The third one is to change a word in your vocabulary. And this is really powerful. If you just change one word from have to get, so have to do something to get the opportunity to do something. It's really, really powerful. And she gives some examples. I'll make sure I'll read them so I get them right here. So instead of saying, I have to stay home because of forced isolation policies, anger, frustration, you say, I get to stay home and stop the spread of the virus. So from I have to stay home and be forced to do this, I get to do this. I have the opportunity to save lives. Another one is, I have to cancel all my outside appointments. I have to cancel everything, my trip. I have to cancel my cruise. I have to cancel whatever. But you can also say, I get to reschedule all my outside appointments. And now I have a huge block of time for my writing, my craft, my reading, whatever it is that you want to do. So instead of saying, I have to cancel everything, just say, I get to do something more positive. And I get to reschedule. I've already started planning. I know it may be 6 months, but it's okay. I'm going to plan and think and, you know, just keep that spirit alive. But I'm saying I get to do other things. And then, you know, we can't, I mean, the bottom line here is we cannot pretend that this isn't happening. You know, we're out of the stage of denial, hopefully most of us, and moving into a state of, well, it's just a range of feelings, you know, from anger to bargaining, all those stages that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross talked about when she was writing her book on death and dying. It's that, you know, response to loss and grief, which is what some of us are feeling. It's very, very understandable, but we have to accept that it's here. It's here. I'm not saying we have to embrace it or welcome it, but we certainly have to accept it. And in doing that, we can then switch on to action. And it's not really necessarily doing things, like you don't have to keep busy all the time. That's kind of an unfair pressure, I think, on yourself. But you can change your mindset so that when those thoughts come to you that are frustrating or fearful or anxious, anxiety producing, you can say, I get to do this. I don't have to look at it as a punishment. I'm helping lives, save lives. I get to reschedule. So just opening that one door and changing that one word can lead you to a world of, you know, creativity and comfort and peace. So I think that, I hope that's been helpful for you. How about you? I mean, if you had to make a mindset shift in the last couple of weeks, how have you done that? What have you been able to do to change your mind from feeling that you were overwhelmed and perhaps afraid to some place where you're more optimistic and hopeful and feeling that you can manage this, that you actually can get through this? Let's chat about it. I mean, we've talked already about the actual, you know, the reality of the virus. We've talked about, you know, things you can do at home. We've talked about, you know, like fashion and fun things you can do at home, home spas, beauty things, all those things. But this is kind of more fundamental mentally. It's about changing your mindset to this situation. So I'd love to chat with you about this. If you leave your comments below, let's have a conversation. That's how we're going to move forward with this and kind of repeat that mantra that everything's going to be okay. If we can just, follow the rules, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, just be aware of everything, and just take this time to regroup and relax and enjoy yourself as much as you can, but shift that mindset. So thank you so much, Jude, for the article. Great inspiration. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your support always. Help each other out here. If you see someone that's struggling a bit in the comments, leave a hug, give a virtual, kiss and a hug to them, because this is what we thrive on. So take very good care. I'll be back soon to talk, but have a wonderful day wherever you are. Know that we're thinking about you and sending all kinds of love. Take care for now. Bye-bye.